Where Has the Lake Gone consists of an artistic research that tells the story of Mexico City from the perspective of its bodies of water, through experimental cartography and the use of DIY sensors for the production of urban data. But first, I want to tell you a bit about myself. My name is Leonardo Aranda. I'm a media artist based in Mexico City, and my work focuses on the creation of urban tactical devices, participatory platforms, and counter cartographies in the context of art. Where Has the Lake Gone was born in response to the current crisis facing Mexico City, which can be described as a cycle of droughts and floods. Originally built on a lake, Mexico City has now lost most of its bodies of water, hidden beneath asphalt and drained to make way to the urban sprawl. The project motivation grows from what Rob Nixon calls slow violence. That is, a form of violence which occurs gradually and is not necessarily visible. It's incremental and is a dynamic across time, in contrast with a conception of general violence as an event or action that is immediate and spectacular. What makes the recent cycle of climate impacts in Mexico City seem less like a social emergency is the water control project has been developing for centuries. Before the colony, the city water system was based on the idea of coexistence with water. The project now are based on the argument that the relationship with waters in the Spanish conquest reflects the colonial tendency to try to control nature, which is reflected in the different efforts to drain lakes that surrounded the ancient city of Tenochtitlan over a period of 500 years. Mexico City has undergone a radical transformation over this period, from a city surrounded by lakes and crisscrossed by rivers and canals, to a city where water is scarce. Rivers and canals have disappeared, and cars have taken their place. You can see in these images some of the infrastructure that are part of current Mexico City waters. Today, all the rivers in Mexico City are piped underground, and where there used to be boats crossing the city from south to north, now we only see cars trying to survive the city traffic. Still a work in progress, the project has been guided by the following exploration during the fellowship. First, how to make visible systems that by their very nature and magnitude tend towards opacity. Second, how to make water infrastructure legible. And third, how to present the complexity of these systems and their evolution over time. In this sense, the project attempts to answer the question that gave it its title through a process of research, both real and speculative. In this sense, the first period of the project focused on the research with various historical archives, including document maps and pictures. And I will show you a bit of the results of that research. From the archival work, the project produced a large amount of geographic information. A central objective of the project has been to create a digital cartography based on this information. This map, the map that we are looking at, explores new forms of cartographic representation, which seek to break the common notions of visualizing georeference data. What we are seeing is a 3D environment created entirely in processing, where georeference information is represented through different depth values. The intention was to represent the city as a stack of infrastructure layers that reflects the historical sedimentation of. Another important objective of the project has been to reveal and make legible the hidden infrastructure that is part of the history of the system. This infrastructure consists of bridges dating back to the pre-Hispanic and colonial eras, in plain sight in the urban landscape of today's modern city. During the project, I scanned several of these infrastructures with the aim of revealing their importance in the history of urban transition. What we are seeing is the result of those scans visualized through processing. The image that you are seeing are different monuments, different parts, infrastructures that you still remain in the city, but they are usually not seen by the people that pass by through them. So, for example, this is a bridge, and the next one is this one is the oldest fountain that I think from the continent, and people pass by it daily, but usually no one knows exactly what it is or what is its importance. And this last one is a tower that is part of the aqueduct of the current water system in Mexico City. From a more speculative perspective, the project attempts to map those spaces that were previously rivers or canals, searching for what remains of the bodies of water. For that purpose, I built a DIY GPR. GPR is a ground penetration radar sensor based on the prototype by Romanian engineer Mirel Pon. The images that we're seeing are some images of that development. And now a small video about functionality of this. A GPR is, as I told you, it's a ground penetration radar that basically works like an ultrasound that sends radio signals into the surface and creates an image in response to the return of that signal. What we're seeing is the assembly of a sensor on a vehicle, which is intended to travel the streets of Mexico City. The vehicle is inspired by the traditional tamales daily, way of camouflage the project into the everyday landscape. These images are of the underground, like that is a kind of like a graphic that shows you that the device shows you when it is scanning the underground. The intention of this device is to explore the city, carrying out an embodied investigation which generates an image of the underground that attempts to answer the question, where has the lake gone? That is me going through the streets of Mexico City. The result of this mapping is a data visualization that allows us to speculate about the existence of water hidden beneath the asphalt in an attempt to restore our coexistence with water. And that's the project. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks for Processing Foundation and its incredible team for the support that made all this project possible. If you're interested in learning more about the technical aspects of this project, please join me in my breakout room after the end of the presentations. Thank you.